Hey yo, what's going on guys? It's your boy Sussy back at it again, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a little interaction I had at the grocery store with this Karen. What she ends up doing will blow your mind, so without further ado, let's get into the video.
Get it jumping, I'm just trying to get some hands up. I've been thinking, yeah, my mind is pretty jammed up. Know I'm immature, but I don't want to man up.
So there I was, just a regular person doing what regular people do, vibing in a grocery store. Now let me paint this picture for you, because it wasn't just any errand. No, this was my self-care. This was me entering my happy place. The grocery store for me is sacred. It's like yoga but with snacks. It's a vibe. It's spiritual. Some people meditate. I buy produce with whimsical freedom. And I'm pushing my cart through these aisles like I'm the main character in a feel-good sitcom. Each aisle, a new adventure. Each shelf, a trove of, ooh, maybe I'll try this ideas. I'm in a full supermarket sweep mode. But not the frantic kind where you're sprinting around with 5 dozen turkeys, you know? Nah, I'm in a chill round. The one where I'm gliding around like Bob Ross paint with asparagus. And I don't even got a shopping list. That's how you know it's real. It's just vibes. So I make my way to the seafood section, right? And boom, I strike gold. Two beautiful salmon fillets. Thick, fresh, glowing like the potential that they're going to get their own spin-off on Food Network. So I pick them up, gracefully, and I gently lay them in the cart like I'm tucking them in for bed. Add some herbs, dill, parsley, a little rosemary for flair. And at this point, my cart's just given I host dinner parties and I know what aioli means. Just me, my cart, and complete peace. But then, disaster strikes. Nature calls, and not the whisper kind. This was the urgent kind, the one like you drink a bottle of water and your bladder declares war kind. So I make the strategic call. I gotta leave my cart in the front of the store, tucked away near the wall, not blocking anybody, not in anybody's way. It's parked secure, chilling like a villain. So I head to the bathroom. I'm gone for maybe 2 minutes tops. I come out, dry my hands like responsible sitting, and walk back out. And my cart is gone, vanished, disappeared, like it was never even there, like salmon never existed. I blink, I stand there confused like a Sims character, and then my internal monologue kicks in. Okay, maybe it rolled away. Maybe someone moved it because it was in the way. Maybe, hear me out, the cart developed sentience and left to start a new life in a cereal aisle. But then, oh then, I see her. And this, my friends, is the story y'all been waiting for. This is where it really begins. She's standing at 5'8", maybe 5'9", if her ego counts for height, dressed in what I can only describe as the default suburban mom boss outfit. White jeans, a blazer, and a signature haircut. You know the one. Let me speak to your manager haircut. The cut that says she's banned from at least 3 Facebook groups for starting drama about scented candles. She's standing next to a cart I kid you not that looks exactly like mine, and I'm not being dramatic. This was my cart. I had 2 very specific salmon fillets, and nobody else in the store was shopping like that. They were about to host a seafood dinner tasting sorority, and this woman, she's holding one of my salmon fillets at arm's length with the disgust of a Disney villain handling something that's not vegan. And then she places it, plops it, right onto the ground beef shelf. Ma'am, ma'am, are you blind? I stood there fully baffled. Like, how could you accidentally put a beautiful salmon orange glistening salmon fillet next to the ground beef and think, yeah, those belong there? That's like putting sandals in a snow boot section. That's like making orange juice with toothpaste. That's wrong. So now I'm laughing hysterically, and it's not even like remotely quiet because of the image of this lady holding up my fist like it personally insulted her and exiling it to the beef zone. That's comedy gold. This is the kind of chaos you cannot script. I take a deep breath and I go, excuse me, ma'am, I believe that's my cart. I stepped away for a moment to use the restroom. And now a sane, reasonable human would say, oh, my bad, and return the cart. But Karen, oh, nah. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't apologize. She looks me dead in the face, like I just restated a Kanye quote, if you know, you know. And she has the nerve to say to me, well, it was sitting there all alone, so I took it. What? I'm sorry, since when do we operate on finders keepers rules in grocery carts and grocery stores? This isn't a yard sale. This isn't the Purge, supermarket edition. That's my cart. And her tone, you'd think I was one who stole her groceries. She's acted like she's a main character in this story now, when really she's the villain with a fish vendetta. So I try to explain to her as calmly as possible. I only had a couple things. I went to the bathroom and it was right by the front. I gestured to the herbs. She didn't even remove evidence, Your Honor. This is my stuff. And then she gives me that same look, like she's a grandma, and I just said another Kanye West tweet to her. At this point, I start putting my things back in the cart. Calm, non-confrontational. I just don't want to make a scene, and I just want to continue shopping. So naturally, since I wasn't making a scene, she had to go and do it herself. She starts screaming, saying I'm stealing, saying I'm being rude, saying that I can't just take somebody's cart. The audacity of this woman. Meanwhile, I'm standing there like I just entered an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm, trying to figure out how this woman came into my life. So I just ignore her temper tantrum. I keep shopping. I try to walk away. And that's when she does it. She grabs my cart, yanks it over to her like she's claiming it for the queen, and flips it over. She flipped my cart in the middle of a grocery store. Now groceries are going flying. My Soleil hit the ceiling tile. All my stuff is ruined. And I was pissed. Parsley was airborne. Herbs everywhere. A Whole Foods explosion. I just stand there, silent, processing. Crowd forming. Karen still yelling. So here I am, channeling every ounce of inner patience, not to transform the grocery store into Batman and avenge my fallen salmon. And then, from the heavens, like a scene out of a movie, comes the manager. And behind him, one of the employees that I know. I play sports with the dude. He knows me. He knows I don't flip carts like a Real Housewives audition type. The manager looks at the chaos, at Karen, at me, and asks, "What's going on here?" I go, "She can go first." And y'all know, I'm classy like that. And y'all, she lies. She's auditioning like Law and Order, grocery unit. She goes, "He came up to me, screamed in my face, called me names, assaulted me, and flipped my cart." Assaulted her? Ma'am, the only thing I assaulted was the idea that salmon belonging with ground beef. So I briefly and calmly explained. I had my cart for 2 minutes. Came back, she had it. I asked for it back politely. She yelled and flipped my stuff. The manager takes a deep breath and goes, "Yeah, I believe you." So he then turns to Karen and says, "Ma'am, I'm going to have to ask you to leave." And she loses it. Like if y'all thought the first temper tantrum she threw was bad, it gets worse. She starts yelling about this generation and how we have no respect, and how young people are so entitled, and how we're the reason the price of milk is going up like crazy. So it went from her being mad over my salmon fillets and putting them in a ground beef to us being in charge of inflation like, "My bad, ma'am. I'm not even old enough to be the president. I can't really help you there." Second, "Ma'am, you flipped over a cart over fish. Fish!" At this point, my buddy the employee steps in like, "Look, ma'am, you gotta go, now." After a few more dramatic huffs and puffs, my salmon-loving lifestyle, she storms off. Hopefully to end exile, hopefully into therapy. So I go to check out, slightly traumatized, holding my bruised herbs like the rescued hostages. Then the manager comes up to me and approaches me. So I'm thinking, great, I'm never coming back here. But actually it was good. He says, "Hey, I'm sorry you had to deal with that, man. Your groceries are on house today." I almost cried. That salmon, it tasted like justice. I walked out of that store with my head up high. A free dinner and a story so absurd I knew I had to tell it to y'all. Like this woman really turned a trip to the grocery store into a full supermarket sweep meets Real Housewives meets Jerry Judy crossover event. And the best part, Karen never even got nothing. She didn't even get her ground beef. So what did we learn? Never leave your cart unattended unless you're emotionally prepared to defend it in a court of law. What else? Salmon deserves better. Karen energy is real. Protect yourself from it. And always, always appreciate a manager who recognizes chaos and says, "Not today, folks." Oh, and a special shout out to him. He knows who he is. We don't need to give you a raise. We need to give you a Grammy, an Emmy, a Nobel Peace Prize, and a key to the city. You, sir, are the real MVP. You're my Batman. Now, if y'all will excuse me, I'm off to cook my dinner and avoid every single aisle that I see blazers in. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. If y'all like the story, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. And just so you know, if you do not, then I'm going to send Karen to come steal your cart and flip it while you're shopping. And no one wants to deal with that nightmare. And if you haven't already, like I said, make sure to subscribe. It really helps me get out there to other people. Let me know down in the comments what y'all thought about the story and what y'all want to see in the future. If you have some stories you want me to tell, feel free to send them to me on Instagram. Also, make sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok. Links will be in the description and the channel bio. And with that, I'll see you on the next video. Peace.